Today I have a calculator. This one is somewhat old. I picked it up from hackerspace yesterday. Someone brought it in, they didn't really have a use for it and they wanted to offload it. So I thought it would be nice to make a video about it. The individual who gave this to me said that he looked it up online and that you could only find one reference to it. I did the same thing and surprise, surprise, same sort of thing, couldn't find much about it. So what I've done is I've taken some high resolution photos with my camera, which is just a smartphone, yay on that, so it's really not a camera. And I figure today I will do a teardown and demonstration of the actual unit itself. To be honest with you, I've been wanting to get a hold of a camera like this for a long time. Now, the downside for me is that there's no battery cover for it. But I have seen this listed on eBay. Now, I really don't want to mess up the polarity of these batteries. I don't know if there's any protection from them being put in the wrong way, but you never know. 2 and 3. So the important thing is this takes 3 AA's. That's not how I wanted to do it. There we go. So this cable sticking out here was an aftermarket mod by the previous owner, just so you could run it off an external power source apart from the batteries, but anyway. Now, the decimal place has been moved on this. It's a feature of this calculator. So if I flick it up to here, we've got 1200, where here we've got 12.00. So I'll just clear that. 12 times 2 equals 24. Now what's interesting is that there are actually 2 equals buttons on this. So if I go 12 minus 4, and go equals again, I get a negative number. Oh, I understand now. I've been learning more about mathematics and plus anyway. So you've got your standard sort of clear, you've got your decimals. Okay then, let's begin pulling it apart. Oh, this label looks like it's... So from what I understand, this came out in the 80s, but it also may have been in the 70s. So the actual era of this unit is not really that well known. And for now, I'm going to grab my screwdriver and start taking it apart. Ooh, that's a long screw. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like this is a modified hobby box. So it may not have been something designed by the actual company itself, but by, they may just use off-the-shelf parts, which is a very interesting method. You don't see a lot of companies doing that nowadays. Nowadays, if they've got the resources to, they'll make like a 3D printed product and use that. Okay, so I'm carefully opening this. And to me this looks like it's just a hobby box that's been modified. So this switch was also installed via the previous owner. It doesn't just come out, so okay. How on earth did he... Wow. Okay, I'm just going to pause this for a moment. Okay, and I'm back. So, if you've been, I kind of screwed up and forgot to hit record. Now, I did grab a few extra things, and I found that these two bits of wires where these screw holes, where these screws are at the top. So my theory is they were just some kind of additional reinforcement. So I'm just going to remove them. Yep. Just pluck this out. Now, to get at these posts back here, I'm going to have to use a different screwdriver set. There we go. There's one. Anyone who is watching this, my intention is to actually properly reassemble this unit, so I'm not going to just leave it. And I can see two flathead screws. So put you down for now. Out of the way. Put this into a position so I can see it. One. Man, the age before heat shrink tubing. Okay, so I got all the screws out, except for the two that are holding in Okay, and there's the calculator out of its shell. So what I'll do for a moment is, what's a battery in there, I think. No, it's some kind of voltage regulator, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to try to get a good photo of that main IC and a close-up of this number display. Okay, and I'm back. So I've just taken the photos, which I'll hopefully be able to upload soon. But as you can see, it's just been taped up, and yeah. Now, I'm not too sure about what the controlling IC, the central IC is. So I'm guessing it's going to be the little main brains of the whole unit. But what I should be able to do is fire the unit up outside of its case. So first one goes in like this. Second one goes in like this. And the third battery goes in like this. And I should be able to turn it on. Ooh. Okay, so that still seems to be working. Now, I've been able to get the photos that I wanted of this thing in pieces, so here's the back of the inside of the unit. And now I'm going to attempt to reassemble this calculator. So the first two are going to be these. Now I'm going to try to get in those little flathead ones. Hopefully without all those wires in there I'll be able to get them in properly. It's one. Two. Yep, so that's in family. Now I'll put these little bits of metal back in, and hopefully they should hold the screw in place. To be honest, I'm kind of used to this idea about jamming something in along with a screw in order to help get it to grip properly. So it's an interesting little hack. I've seen a contractor in my flat when he was working on one of my lights to do that, and it really did interest me. I guess it's one of those little things that you do just to make sure that something works. Yep, that felt a lot better going back in. Alright, so I'm going to give this another test just to make sure that it does work still. That way, and then this way. Okay, so the functionality hasn't been completely shot. Now, I just noticed this. Looks like some glue's holding this side in, and that side doesn't have as much glue on it. Okay, so you have to hover over to this side. This switch has to go down in through here. Like so. So originally I thought this was like a on-off switch, but no, it's between internal and external battery or voltage source, so I'm not getting that one back in properly. Alright, realign it. Okay, so that switch has been restored. Now, that knot, I'm assuming it's okay to go. Okay, so it would have just. Okay, that looks as correct as it's going to be. So I've been noticing this 4 button could just be maybe a dirty contact or old calculators. So good news is I didn't break it. It's always good when that happens. It's never any fun when you actually break something by accident. When you're meaning to do it, it's, yeah, that's okay, but who knows? So that is a teardown of the Minicom M818, however you want to pronounce it. So yeah, this I'm a bit sort of worried about these exposed wires, but ooh. Anyway, this video I would say is now complete. I am happy that I was able to reassemble it without any really noticeable degradances. It was nice to be able to poke around inside, and that's going to be the video. Thanks for watching.